In today's video, I will be telling you exactly how you can increase your watch time and hit the YouTube monetization threshold as fast as possible, using the new method in 2022. Now, there are many different methods floating around the internet, which claim to show you all sorts of tips and tricks. But there's only a few ways you can actually get the monetization threshold in a fast way, without ruining your channel in the long run. And I use these watch time methods to consistently gain views on my channels, and grow them to levels where I can achieve results like this.
Yes, out of eyes tryna put me on a t-shirt. Shorty want me so bad, do your knees hurt? Yeah, I'm counting paper crop in my beamer.
And it's quite expensive when you are running ads. So the new method that I'm going to show you is going to be the most effective method, and a new method that is going to be very effective and moving forward into 2022. Especially since YouTube is a platform that is constantly changing, and you need to make sure that your methods are constantly changing to stay up to date with what's relevant. And make sure you watch the video until the end, because you need to see every single method in detail to make sure you understand it. This is going to be a tutorial that actually tells you how you can increase your watch time by the fastest method. The first method that I'm going to talk about is going to be called 1. Focusing on a trend. Now remember, we're going to be assuming that your channel has 0 subscribers and 0 views. So this method right here, focusing on a trend, is probably most effective method for any channel in gaining subscribers and views, especially when you're starting from 0 subscribers and 0 views. So what is focusing on a trend? So as we know, trends come and go. But this is how the majority of small channels get their mark. This is the secret that you've been looking for. As a small channel to focus on a trend, and I'm going to tell you exactly how you can use trends to pivot your channel and explode it and gain that much watch time as quickly as possible and as much subscribers. So now that we know we need to focus on trends, how do we firstly identify a trend and secondly use that trend to blow up our channel? So the first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that when we identify a trend, is we need to identify how that trend can fit into our channel. But the first step is to identify the trend in the first place. Now usually when you're browsing across YouTube, there are some videos that pop into your suggested feed that you didn't expect, and they have millions of views and they're actually from small channels. When you see things like this, you need to be able to identify them and realize that other channels are benefiting from trends too. And you need to be able to act quickly to incorporate those trends into your channel as quick as possible. Now there are 2 types of trends you need to identify and use to blow up your channel. 1. This is what I like to call the daily trend. This is the trend which is formed on a very short time basis, meaning that you only have around 24 to 48 hour period before that video topic is near obsolete. For example, things like breaking news, or new game-changing updates to software, life, or games. 2. Then we have the long-term trend. This is the type of trend which is a form of video format, but most people haven't caught on yet. And this is the type of trend which stays around for 3 to 6 months before becoming less relevant as more people catch on. You need to use both the long-term trend and the daily trend to make your channel explode. So what are some examples of the daily trend and the long-term trend? An example of the daily trend is something that happened within the last 24 hours that you can make content on and incorporate a video into your channel. Let's take a look at this for example. So earlier this year, Jake Paul decided to steal Floyd Mayweather's hat. Now this was a huge event that occurred, and there were millions of people searched for that specific clip, and millions of people were searched for content related to this event. So let's take a look at how a YouTube channel managed to successfully use this trend, event, and make their channel explode. You can see this channel right here. Caught on Camera was able to successfully catch this trend very early on, and it amounted into a massive amount of views, and as you can see, this channel managed to gain millions of views from posting this kind of content. This was all because they saw a trend early and managed to make a video quickly. Now this was just one example of one channel in one niche. For example, yesterday, if you were in the football or sports niche, Lionel Messi allegedly left Barcelona, which was huge news. So many people were looking for videos on this topic. And if you made a video on this, you would have benefited from that increased search traffic. So if you want to benefit from the daily trend, what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to constantly have a radar in which you can find and quickly make videos on trending stuff in your niche. And of course, you're not going to be able to do this every day, but you have to understand that opportunities like this don't always come around. So when these opportunities arise, you need to be able to take them. It might sound crazy, but you need to drop whatever it is you are doing and go ahead and make that video. This is how I got many of my channels to the point where they can easily pull $6,000 in profit. Channels like this will always work from 0 views and 0 subscribers, because people will be always searching for content that has just happened. And you can always make a video in order to fill that need. Number 2. Now this is the long-term trend. Now the long-term trend is something called the long-term trend because it's a trend that can last longer than a daily trend. And this is one that you need to pay attention to. This is where you can grow a channel base and grow a significant amount of your revenue for a very long period of time. And this is how I've managed to do that for many of my channels, and this is a secret I use. So what is the long-term trend? And how does it work? Well, the long-term trend is simply a video format that someone has done and it has blown up. And there are certain creators which are starting to do similar videos in that same video style format. What happens now is that subscribers and viewers are becoming adjusted to that style of video format. And because of this, they are now seeking out this new type of content, because it is a new long-term trend. If you still don't understand, I'm going to give you an example. Let's look at the popular video game Minecraft. Around 1 year ago, Luke the Notable made a video called 100 Days Hardcore Minecraft. This video gained millions and millions of views and quickly went viral. Now what happened over the coming months was pretty interesting. Many different creators started creating videos with the same exact video format. As you can see right here, many different channels started following this trend, and those who caught on early did very well. This video format, the 100 Day series, shows us that whatever niche you are in, there is usually a popular video type trend that you can be making content on. And that is most likely what content type you should follow. This is because on YouTube, contrary to popular belief, you should be copying what other people create. Now I don't mean copy word for word, frame for frame exactly what people create and re-upload their content. I mean in the sense that the type of content they are creating, as long as you can see the view count and see the subscribers and see that it's working, then you should be making sure that your content similarly matches that style. This is because it's already shown that this video format is proven, and it's already shown that this video format is done and working, meaning that there's no trial and error stage for you. All you have to do is now simply make some small adjustments and continue producing content. Now those 2 points are incredibly important to making sure that your channel blows up from 0 views, insert subscribers, and those are the exact 2 methods that I use and prioritize when launching any single channel from 0 views or subscribers. Because those are the only and most effective ways to grow a channel straight out of the gate. Now there is one last method that you can use to grow your channel exponentially straight out of the gate. And this is going to be on focusing on making the type of content for your channel for a smaller audience, but also a larger one. Now that may have sounded confusing, but let me explain what I'm talking about. You see on YouTube, but one thing you have to understand is that there are different types of markets. What you need to understand is that when you make your content, you never want your content to be somewhere where it's saturated, meaning that you don't want to be making videos where 20 other channels are doing the exact same thing. It will be much harder for you to grow a channel from 0 views and 0 subscribers. So when you're starting out, you need to make sure that your channel focuses on something pretty small if possible. When I started out my channel, I focused on creating videos on the cash cow make money online method. There was literally no other creator online that was talking about this method of making money from YouTube. So I was easily able to grow my channel in this niche and dominate the search results and suggested. This is what you should aim to do with your talent. If there's a small type of topic in your niche that a lot of creators haven't really picked up on yet, you should aim to create content in that niche as quickly and with as much quality as possible. And this is because you're going to be the only one doing this type of content, and there's not going to be any type of competition. Now, although this is kind of hard, because you're trying to identify something where there is zero competition, and usually there's going to be a little bit. It's something that can be done as long as you have the right tools. One of my favorite tools to use is vidIQ. As you can see right here, the software actually allows you to look at what types of content has low competition. And it wouldn't hurt to make a video there where the competition is low. Now, what are the last things that you also want to do is you also want to make sure that you eventually make content for a larger audience. Now, at first, this might sound silly. Because why would you make content for a large audience when you don't have that much subscribers? But you have to understand that subscribers on YouTube don't account for the majority of your views. 95% of your views are going to come from the suggested feed, and that comes from people who aren't subscribed. Just look at my channel, for example. 88% of watch time comes from people who are not subscribed. So understand that when trying to get watch time, you need to somewhat go broad. Your video needs to be able to speak to a larger audience, because that's how videos can get promoted. Think about it like this. If you're making video content, and the max amount of people that can watch your content is, let's say, 10,000, then the maximum views you could ever get on that video is capped at 10,000. Which is why you need to make videos for a bigger audience. And this is why you need to be able to make videos that can actually hit in suggested. So you need to be able to start small, and then eventually broaden your horizons to reach that bigger audience. 1. So it's a recap. Step 1. Find the daily trend. 2. Step 2. Find the long-term trend and make sure your content format is just like that. 3. Step 3 is to also make sure you're making content in a small niche and dominate that niche. 4. And eventually make sure that you can make content which appeals to a broader audience. Now, if you do these 4 steps like I've outlined, I can guarantee that your channel will be growing quicker than you can imagine. And you might be asking questions. Well, what about shorts? Well, shorts views don't actually count to watch time, so it's quite pointless to post a bunch of shorts, because you're going to have to create a bunch of videos anyways in order to get people to have that watch time. It's much better to just create videos on which you can actually gain watch time from. And you may also ask, what about subscriber hacks? What about subscriber tips and tricks? Buying subscribers, or buying views, or buying likes, or any of that stuff? You should never do it. It just inflates your channel and doesn't actually help your channel in any way. And the chances of you getting terminated are quite high. So I would stay clear of any of that stuff. If you enjoy this kind of clear and concise content,